What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video, another episode of Bodyweight Basics. I think this is episode 16 now. That means we've been doing this for 4 months. I want to kick off today's vlog with a quick explanation in regards to some comments I got on the last video. So these comments were actually in regard to training volume. The first one was from Tamara, who I've seen you on this channel for ages. She mentioned about your recovery capacity must be amazing to recover from all of that volume. And then also, my man Nils, who I mentioned in one of the past episodes, mentioned, damn, there are a lot of exercises, mate. I never do more than 6 exercises per workout, blah, blah, blah. And you're both quite right. Following the workout that I posted on the last vlog, which was last Monday, I woke up the next day and I felt like I'd been hit by a freaking train. Number one was that I hadn't trained for 10 days, so the DOMs are always going to be worst, but there was quite a lot of volume in that session. This is one of the kind of hardest bits to find with training, because you got to find that Goldilocks level of volume. If you do too little, you won't get enough stimulus to then cause the adaptation. If you do too much, you're never actually going to recover from the stimulus to then adapt. So it's about finding that sweet spot in between of too little and too much. So this level of volume, this Goldilocks level, it doesn't have a specific amount. It's going to depend on person to person and your recovery capacity. As a general rule of thumb, you shouldn't have DOMs anywhere more than 48 hours post-training. Really, I'd say max 72, but more around that 48-hour mark, because especially when it comes to strength, it's going to benefit you more to do it more often and on a more regular basis, and to do that, you're going to have a little bit less volume per session. In terms of the amount of exercises that you would do per body part, more isn't better by any means. Generally speaking, you want anywhere from 2 to 4 exercises per body part or movement pattern that you are training. And I think if you go back to my last video and the workout in that, which is actually the workout we're going to be performing today, you'll see that it is in that bracket per movement pattern. But you're right, it probably was on the upper end of that. So don't feel like just because you've seen me do a load of exercises and a load of sets in the past workout, that means it's a good thing. In fact, if I was training for a specific strength move, there would probably be a lot less variation in the exercises and a lot more focused work. However, at the moment, I'm looking to build up my general training capacity and also work for a little bit of hypertrophy, which is why the workout was laid out in the way it was. So hopefully that answers some of the questions that you guys had on the last episode. There'll definitely be a little bit less volume in today's session, because I don't feel like having DOMs for the next 5 days again. It's just not a fun time. Speaking of which, it is now time to go and train. And because it is a very surprisingly nice day here, I'm going to train outside. I've got a quick question for you. I love training at home, I love training outside. It's one of the things I love most about bodyweight training, but I always feel that I perform better when I'm in the gym. I don't know whether it's because I'm more focused when I'm there, or because it's set up for that, or whatever. Let me know what you think. Is it the same for you? Is it the opposite way around? I'd love to know your thoughts. First handstand of the day. There's always a little bit dodge. But so lately I've been trying, alongside the one-arm handstand work, is this challenge called the Eval 5 set. But basically the Stouder press is like one big handstand drop set. You've got a Stouder press that goes into a handstand push-up, which goes into a pike press, which goes into a straddle press, which goes into a Stouder press negative. And so far I've only managed to get like 3.5 out of the 5 moves all the way through. This is my attempt at a Eval 5 set. See what I mean? I can't get past the Stouder and handstand push, I just die. But to be fair, it's like 2 max effort moods back to back, so I'm pretty happy with it. So finishing up the one-arm handstand work, it's now taking about 45 minutes to do that, and I'm here and my shoulder is shaking just holding this camera up now, which is why I think somebody asked like why I don't do more planche specific stuff, although I want to get planche, is I don't have a recovery capacity at the moment. Like I can do one-arm handstand stuff and I can maintain general strength, but outside of that I'm really struggling to find the energy and the time to actually train for it. Since I brought it up, I may as well give a planche a quick go. Very pleasantly surprised with planche progress. Can I just say I have not trained the planche at all. I literally zero planche training for the past 7 months. This is all of that gains has come from improving the motor patterns and the movement patterns associated with the planche and getting strong at those, rather than just keep doing the same thing over and over again hoping for a different result. For example, at the end of the day, to do the planche you need strong ass shoulders, strong ass chest and a good straight ass anterior. If you do weighted push-ups, if you do handstand push-ups, they will all give some free gains to the planche, which has been some of my best planche gains ever without actually training it. Last time I did this, it was just standard dips, which means I can load this up more, as I don't have a dip bar here. I'm just using the rings, so that means I'm going to be loading a little bit less. So I'm only doing 10 kilos versus 20 kilos in the last session. Oh, and the good old favourite, weighted push-ups. Such a good superset if you want to build a decent chest. And weighted push-ups, freaking love weighted push-ups. Not quite the same superset as last time I did the Victorian press, but I don't have dumbbells or dumbbells with that much weight to do, so I changed it up, working the same muscle groups as lower mid traps, but doing a trap 3 raise this time. You know, still gets the job done. I'm working one of my favourite exercises for the rotator cuff. It isn't what I did last time again, but just making the most of the equipment that you have. But that is basically the workout. Obviously we finish up at the end with a little bit of arm work, because why not? Who doesn't love some good arms? Also, bicep curls are incredibly functional. I'm going to keep saying this because it's true. Oh well, 5. I'm sure one of the reasons for me getting some of my goal with elbow was simply because I didn't do enough bicep conditioning by itself, and I was doing a lot of straight arm, both pulling and pushing, so I wasn't getting that work done at the elbow and strengthening the muscles around the joint like I am now. And obviously because I've only got one dumbbell, I'm just doing one side at a time. But that's fine, because it just ends up being one continuous set.
As always, full workout is in the description down below. Let's go get something for post-workout. Finishing up today's video with the same way we started it, except instead of coffee, got a mass gainer shake, the one that I have on my website, and I'll link that down below. All in all, today's session was pretty damn good. That was my best ever straddle planche attempt, again without actually training it. So I'm pretty excited to see when I get to the end of this hypertrophy and kind of reconditioning phase, what will happen when I have some specific strength work for the planche and see how far I can take some of these gains and hopefully tick off some of those goals. But if you do have any questions about today's video, or if you just generally want to join the conversation, suggest another topic for the next Bodyweight Basics episode, why don't you go down in the comments down below, join the conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts. While you're down there, you can also hit that thumbs up button and support the channel, show that you're enjoying this series. But that has been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week, and peace.